stream is cleared for takeoff.
Thank you, thank
Hello.
you. Welcome. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, everybody.
Hello,
Welcome.
everybody.
Hope we're on properly. Welcome to our Guys and Dolls launch stream. We are so glad to have everybody here. We are multi-streaming, and this is kind of the first time we've ever done this. We're on MSFS Official. We're on Allison Johnson's Twitch stream. We're on Avangel's YouTube stream. This is awesome. So wherever you're tuning in from, welcome. You're maybe wondering what this is, or maybe you're a part of Skies and Dolls. So if you are, hello Sky Dolls, welcome. My name is Jane. I am the Senior Community Manager for Microsoft Flight Simulator. We have a great panel here of Avangel and Allison Johnson, of course. I'm going to go ahead and just kick this off over to Avangel to explain what the stream is, what Skies and Dolls is, and why we're here today.
Thank you, Jane. No, Skies and Dolls is a group that is dedicated to basically supporting women and girls in the flight sim community, because it is ostensibly a fairly male-dominated area, and there's a huge community. It's mixed and it's wonderful, and sometimes it can be a little intimidating, a little much for some women to get involved in. So we created this as a way of uplifting, of engaging, and helping to boost female participation in the whole flight sim world. And we're dedicated to a whole kind of approach towards diversity and inclusion to make sure that everybody gets to enjoy simming, and not to make this exclusive. We're not trying to make this a women will only fly in our group. No, we want to basically provide a launch platform, a launch base for all kinds of women to basically find flight sim, to find a way to enjoy engaging in a community, and then to branch out into the wider community as a whole.
That's right. So welcome if you're unfamiliar. We're really glad to have you. This flight is for everybody, of course. Allison put this flight plan together, so why don't we talk a little bit about that, Allison, and why you picked this one in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hello everybody. Welcome again. Good to see you all, especially to those on Avangel's channel and the Microsoft channel. And to those that are joining on mine. So today we're going to be flying a little flight. It's an homage to the very first women's air race known as the Powderpuff Derby. Took place starting in August 1929. And we're going to fly the last two legs, because I know that Microsoft, I think I flew with CD actually on the Microsoft channel a while back. We did the first two legs from Santa Monica. So we're going to be flying from Cincinnati Municipal Airport at Lumpkin, which is just out to the east of the city. And we're going to wend our merry way up via Columbus to the final destination of Cleveland today. And if you're looking for the map, you can see the route that we're planning to take. And also, if you go to Microsoft Flight Simulator forums, it is already there in planner.microsoftflightsimulator.com, so you'll be able to download the frequency and join us. Looking forward to seeing you in the skies.
Exclamation point fly if you want to join us. There's the flight plan. We are on the North Europe server today. Looks like we got people lined up already, ready to go on our screen. This is so exciting. We even got an airliner in there.
I'm sure
maybe you'll complete this pretty quickly.
Livery we don't have.
What are you two flying today? Avangel, what are you flying today?
Well, today I've got the Unibuild's Messerschmitt 108, or the Typhoon. Now this aircraft is particularly fun because the nickname it has, Typhoon, comes from one particular pilot's aeroplane. That is Ellie Beinhorn. She's one of the earliest and most famous German aviators, and she flew this very aircraft, Delta Echo Bravo Echo India, and performed in multiple air races across Europe and engagements. So in honor of her, I'm flying this one today.
Awesome. And I think me and Alistair may be flying the same thing. What do you got, Allison?
I'm flying the lovely Cessna 172, and I know it's not in period, but it's my go-to plane. I learned to fly in it, and it's nice to bimble around in. So But
if we want to look at my screen or Allison's, maybe after she loads in, we have a Skies and Dolls livery pulled up here on the 172. We have a really awesome community member named the Flying Freya, who's been making lots of Skies and Dolls liveries for us. We're really thankful for her talents. But yeah, if you're in Skies and Dolls, I'm sure we'll see lots of liveries today. She's made some for several aircraft all across the spectrum. So I love representing Skies and Dolls in that way. I think it's awesome. And yeah, we do have lots of ladies flying along with us today. You know, I can recognize many of these gamer tags here. You know who you are. There's Freya right there behind us, getting ready to take off.
And there's the lovely livery that Freya has done. She's done some class liveries.
Yeah.
Even one for the Lancaster, which I love, because she's put the Skies and Dolls logo right where the nose art would be, which is absolutely spot on. Look how many people we've got today: Amy, G-Kick, CC, Sazzle, Els Gaming, Hyper Sniper. We've got some gentlemen coming along as well to see us off. I see Rubber Ducky up there and Wombi actually down there.
Yeah. And behind the scenes, not on mic or camera, but we have CD running the show here. Yeah. So CD will be cycling through our screens while we fly together. And thank you so much, CD, for helping us out.
No. Oh, it's because I'm somebody else's plane. I was like, what's happened to my plane? I mean, it's like, I don't have that.
That was like something weird. Yeah. Shall we take off? Is it time?
I just want to move.
I think it is, yeah. Let's get ourselves going. We'll start really talking about things that engage once we're up in the air. But we can't fly until we're airborne. So
yeah.
Let me put my plan in.
I suppose so. Maybe we'll see Av Angels take off. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll put the pressure on me, why don't we? Now, if you want to find the flight plan, folks, just head over to the link we've just posted in the chat, of course, for the community page there, and you can find information on there, including the flight plan to download yourself. I think I'm heading towards the runway. It's over here. There we go. My weather site is different, so I'm taking off the opposite direction, but we should be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are. Runway. Found it eventually.
Oh, sorry, Jane, that was you and me together there.
I think so. I'll try to get out of here then, so we're not
taxiing very fast to get going here. There we go.
Oh, there's the noise.
Yeah. Gear up, and we are away.
There we go with some barnstorming. Av Angel coming our way as we come yours. Hey, well, a lot of the ladies that flew the 29 Air Derby were, of course, at Barnstormers, you know, notably.
Performing at country fairs.
Yeah, Pancho Barnes, in
America.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Whoa.
There we go.
Monocle, you can absolutely join in.
Yes.
You can have me flaps. Good.
A lot of airspace around here, so let's watch out for each other.
Good luck with that today.
Yeah, it's going to be a little crazy. It's good we don't have the shared wake turbulence that they keep threatening to put into multiplayer. It'll make things chaos.
There's a hill that way, and there's not a hill that way, so I'm going to go right. That's the Ohio River. That was Kentucky on one side, Ohio on the other.
This is a community flight, by the way, Monocle, so you're more than welcome to join. Yeah. We're on the EU North, Europe North server, unlike the Flying Fridays. And Wild River Bush League, hi, yes, hello. We're going to have a wonderful flight, and hope you enjoy yourself too.
Wild River Bush League, thank you very much.
Let's see, let's go 15.
As we look over the side, and see the lovely Queen City in the distance.
Yeah. There's someone up behind me.
All right, off I go.
See if we can watch Jane's take off.
I see what you mean about the pressure.
Surly Dev, hello.
Hello, Surly.
Hi, Surly. I am using an Xbox controller today.
Oh,
wow.
To show that anybody can fly. Even
yes.
if you just have an Xbox controller. I promise.
Do you know what? I can't fly with an Xbox controller at all. I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocking.
Well,
I'm not awesome at it.
The Xbox controller is not ideal. However, it is a great entry. If you're new to simming, it's a fantastic entry. Even on PC, of course. Now, of course, Flight Sim is available for console and PC. But one of the members of Skies and Dolls, who happens to be my best friend, Maxime, she wasn't into Flight Sim. She'd never done it before. And she gave it a try. And I taught her some basics with a controller. And she wasn't bad. We were able to go for a couple of flights. Eventually, she enjoyed it enough that she went and bought a HOTAS, and she's been enjoying it since. So, controllers are more than capable of giving you a good insight into the sim and actually finding out if you like it or not. And I will not stand anybody who poo-poos controllers or console gaming when it comes to flight sim, because everything is just as important and all start somewhere.
Oh, I wasn't poo-pooing, by the way.
No, I know you weren't. I'm just, it's the hobby horse of mine. I see some of the hardcore, grumpy PC simmers who get very upset about those console peasants. And I like to point out that they're wrong. So.
I was not paying attention. I gotta get onto my heading here.
Yeah, I turned my avionics off. That was clever.
So in the Skies and Dolls community, we have about 70-ish members so far, and we are really, really happy about the reception we've had so far with the community. We weren't sure how many women were out there wanting to join a group like this. I felt like I knew, Av Angel, I knew Allison here, but it's hard to get to know women in the community when they're not, actively, public facing, like content creators,
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I was really happy to see that there are lots of people who are wanting that type of spice. And it's been really great getting to know so many people in the community. It's really cool. Wow, there's a lot of people in the sky in front of me. This is awesome.
Did I break something? I may have broken something.
Wombi, CC, Amy, Miss TPHI, Rubber Duck, Maggie, Ari, there's Els. Aw.
I have paused this somehow. I'm not sure how I did that. That was spectacular. I'll do that again.
That's true, Dan. Yeah. If
It absolutely
neural
is.
mindset of gatekeepers if they're trying to tell you how to play just any game, not just flight sim, if they only want you to play it a certain way, we enjoy games and sims as we would like and what makes us happy and have fun, and whether that's doing the airliners, J flying, controls, yokes, whatever it is.
Lily, hello, darling. Welcome in. Another member of the community.
Ooh.
The reception has been huge so far. I'm actually really impressed with how many people have come out of the woodwork, and it's wonderful to see people really feeling so happy to have a space that they can engage with, and this is something that's probably a fairly common experience, but whilst the general community is wonderful, okay, it is absolutely wonderful, and I'm in several spaces, but I've also been gaming for like 15-20 years, so I've been in these environments that have been hugely male dominated the entire time, and I've gotten used to it. Hell, I played competitive Counter-Strike for a while, and you get used to it really fast, or you don't. And it's wonderful, but you're invariably often the only woman that's there, and it can be quite intimidating and a little lonely sometimes, but not always. It's just fun to talk to people. It's wonderful. And because one of my favorite communities is the Got Gravels Discord, which is a Bushflying Discord for the Got Friends crew, and that place is fantastic, wonderful people. But again, it's like maybe one or two of us in there, and it does feel a little lonely sometimes. So it's wonderful to have somewhere that can just be let your hair down and hang out and have fun, which is really nice.
Hey, Zybok.
What plane is Av Angel flying? Looks like an oldie.
It is. This is the Messerschmitt Bf 108 Typhoon. It looks like a 109, but it is not. No, it's much earlier. And it is a 4-seat sport touring aircraft that was developed in the early 30s and went on to be incredibly popular. In fact, it was usually placing first and second in most air rallies and races that happened around the time. They were reliable, efficient, effective, fantastic. Yes, they got pressed into service by the Luftwaffe in the Second World War. 4 even served in the RAF as the Avalon. They were pressed from civilian service at the start of the war. where they generally served as liaison aircraft. So, got used as a 109 in numerous films. If you remember Von Ryan's Express, you'll remember the weird-looking 109s.
They were there.
Were these? Yes, they were Typhoons. So, and no, they didn't have guns like half those World War II films seem to portray them as.
Yeah, Ellie's husband was a, at the time, was it? I don't even know if it was Formula One, but he was a Formula One multi-world champion of his days, and they often entered races.
Who was the husband? Sorry.
Oh,
I need to look this up now. I need to find out who she was married to.
He was very famous.
Bernd Rosemeyer?
Yes, Rosemeyer.
Yes, Rosemeyer. Yes, that's him.
That's him.
Bernd Rosemeyer. Ah, yes.
So, we mentioned earlier that we are kind of doing the ending route for the 1929 Women's Air Derby. Yes. So, why don't we get into it a little bit about this derby? There's a lot to it, so we'll cover it all.
Yeah.
Lots to talk about. So, Allison, I guess can we get like a just high level overview of what this race was?
Give us information.
It was the very first real race for female pilots, organized by Cliff Henderson, and subsequently got replaced. It took place when women got banned from the Bendix Trophy. We weren't allowed to fly in that for ages because Florence Klinger-Smith died. And so basically 40 pilots qualified. They had to have over 100 hours of flight time. 20 took part, 14 finished. It was full of intrigue. Sadly, the very next day, the race almost got cancelled because of the wonderfully named Marvel Crossan, who sadly died in an accident. It appeared that she had been overcome by carbon monoxide poisoning in her cockpit, which was not open like a lot of the other pilots. Travelaires were the aircraft of the day. Very, very popular. 2 classes by engine cubic weight, not by horsepower. The small ones included the Jenny, which Phoebe Omi won, and then the bigger aircraft, the Travelaires, which Louise Staden crossed the line first. What else you want to know? Because I know everything.
That's a good question. I don't know
to ask.
When I was watching lots of documentaries and stuff, and the one that you recommended I hadn't seen yet, but there's also a book that actually CD gave me a long time ago that it's about 5 women in aviation, but there's of course a big section on the Derby, and if anybody is interested it's called Fly Girls. It's an incredible book. Look, you're nodding, so I'm guessing you've read this too, but
oh yes,
I love it. It's really interesting, and there's lots of parts. Maybe I'll go through and read a couple quotes. Like there's a very interesting part about why it was, nicknamed the Powderpuff Derby, just all about the sabotage and like the stuff that the women just had to overcome to even do this race and finish this race, and
interestingly,
the backlash.
The police didn't think there was anything to the sabotage, although there was smokers playing, a non-smoker's plane caught fire because there was a cigarette butt in her clothing. Someone's airplane wing wires were eaten through by acid. It's not something that happens just out of nowhere. But Louise Staden at the end of the race said that the calls for sabotage were bunk. But the best thing I like is that George Palmer Putnam, who was Amelia Earhart's future husband and publicist, tried to bribe Louise to lose so that Amelia could win. Amelia came fourth. Amelia came fourth. So, but Louise Staden was going to be the very first leader of the 99s, but because Amelia had much more publicity, she stepped aside and gave it to Amelia.
Speaking of Amelia, we'll be having a very special guest filling that top spot on our stream screen for you in just a while, and she will be coming in as a professional Amelia Earhart impersonator. And what does that actually mean? We'll have to ask her when she gets here. Segue there. I know, but I'm going to save it for her to explain, so she can tell you.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly. We'll take her thunder. Someone Climb had a comment in my chat. We'll go around the group and ask this question. But what's my favorite place to fly in the flight sim world for GA? And to get everyone in an aircraft. So favorite place, like country, an area, and an aeroplane. So for me, I will say British Columbia in Canada, and I will say a Cessna 206. Bush flying in British Columbia is my favorite thing. I've done it since FSX. I love it. I know some of those values backwards. It's stupid how much a video game teach your world. But yeah, so Jane, what about you?
Location, I mean, it's got to be kind of around, the area I live in, but flying around like Mount Rainier. This is around the PNW, right? So you got Mount Rainier, you got the Cascade Mountains on the east side, you got the Olympic Mountains on the west, you got all these islands like Orcas Island, San Juan Islands in the Puget Sound, like by Seattle. All of that is just so stunning. I love flying that. And, I'm always flying bush planes, whether it's, I love Draco X Cub. I like the classic Cessnas too. Just because I know those the best. But yeah, it's hard to pick there. That's what I like to do.
Alison?
Right, so I like in real life when I'm going on holidays, I like places where it's mountainous, lakey. So I'm a great fan of alpine areas. See the Italian, the German, Austrian Alps, and also, of course, beautiful Southern Alps in New Zealand, where I spent quite a lot of time when I was younger. So plane-wise, it's so torn because I've got several favourites. My jump into is obviously the Cessna because I learned to fly in. However, I have a really soft spot for two biplanes. One being the Stearman, which I've had the opportunity to fly, and also the Tiger Moth. They're my, I like old and slow and historic stuff, really.
Yeah. So there you go. What about you, chat? You asked the questions, so you tell us.
Yeah, let's just see what chat you have to say on this one, because I like to hear what they say. There's a fun tangential question to places we fly in.
Yeah.
Someone asked on my chat, how many languages do I speak? Well, I'll ask these two first. So, Alison?
Not excluding English. I can speak German, Swedish, French.
Wow, there you go.
Sorry, I'm the bumbling American that speaks a single language of English. Not even I should know Tagalog, but I absolutely do not know Tagalog. So just English for me.
I have English, I have German, I have terrible high school French, and reasonable high school Latin. There you go.
Nice. You like the livery? Yes, made by community member Flying Freya. She runs the events in our Skies and Dolls community, as well as creates lots of liveries. The kindness of her heart, really. So,
yeah,
I think there's so many cool ones.
There are.
Yeah.
If you want the liveries, by the way, folks, head over to flightsim.to and search Skies and Dolls in there, and you'll find all the liveries that Freya has made and available to download.
Find a link to that. I can chat in there soon.
Nur ein bisschen Deutsch,
Take a look at those.
Mein Deutsch ist nicht schlecht.
Mine's rusty. Once I'm there that day or two, it's okay.
Yeah. English though.
But I do what you do. Do you know? Because if you know multiple languages,
yes,
especially when they're very similar, like Swedish is to German, I will speak half a sentence in Swedish and finish it in German.
So with my friend Maxine being Dutch, she's constantly trying to teach me bits of Dutch, and she keeps making the example that it's like German, whereas my German friends go, yes, Dutch is like German, but with brain damage. And I'm like, I mean, it's similar is the problem, and it's too similar.
Oh, no.
So I try pronouncing. I can read Dutch and actually understand a lot of it because I understand German, so I can read a lot of Dutch.
Yeah.
But my problem is Dutch is like German spelled in English.
Yes.
And it's pronounced in such a very weird way that I go to pronounce things and I pronounce it the German way, and it completely comes across wrong. So when I hear it spoken, all I hear is gobbledygook and clocks. So it's terrible for me. I struggle. Craig says, you're still young, Jane. There's still plenty of time to learn more languages.
great.
There you go.
I mean, if I had a choice, I'd love to learn Japanese just because I'm a little weeb, but
Hey, there was nothing wrong with that.
I would love to visit that country more often. Love to visit, but I want to know the language and not be a fool out there.
That's the thing I always make as a point is whenever I go somewhere, I try to learn at least basics in a language just so I can be polite. Because I hate to be that British tourist. So I make a point of it. And people love it when you do it. And they may switch to English and communicate with you because it's far easier. I've had that in Italy. But they adore the fact you're trying. And they consider it really polite. So I think it's just decent of us to do it. Which is, again, going to be complicated in the end of August, because I know Gamescom is happening, and you're over there, Jane, and I'll be there as well. But I'm going via Belgium and then the Netherlands, and back and forth between Belgium, the Netherlands, and Germany over that week. So my ability to at least be polite in two of those countries is going to be complicated.
That's very true.
Dutch is not fantastic, if it's close.
Well, folks, we have a special guy behind the scenes here. I know we've talked about her a little bit, but see, I don't know if you can get that set up with her headset off there, but we'll introduce her in just a second here because she has just joined us. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you.
I can see you. Yeah, we're gonna wait till
Hey, Marian,
you're
lovely to
showing
meet
up
you.
on stream
Hi.
here. We got CD behind the scenes. He'll take off the headset and then display once that's ready. But while we wait for that, what? That's an
Hey,
interesting
there we go.
question, Sia.
Germans will ask me to switch to English and then correct my English. It's God.
Wonderful.
Okay.
I think we are technically sorted out now, so that's fantastic. Jane.
All right. Welcome, Marian. Marian Blake, ladies and gentlemen, to the stream. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy to have you.
Having me.
Now,
Thank
we've alluded to, what you do and Earhart's reenactor. Also, you have your PPL, and I know aviation means a great deal. So if we could just do a little introduction of who you are and what you do to get started, we'll do that.
Sure, yeah. Thank you so much for having me. As you mentioned, I'm a private pilot. I'm a 99, part of the aviation group that Amelia founded in 1929. I'm part of the largest chapter here in San Diego, which is internationally, I think, the largest chapter as of recently. And then as I mentioned, I am an Amelia Earhart reenactor, which is wild. It's not something I ever thought I would do, but I'm very lucky to be doing, and I'm very grateful that I get to honor her memory that way, especially on her birthday. So it's really cool to be here with all of you.
Yes, it is Amelia Earhart Day. We picked this for our launch for that exact reason. We're really happy that you could take the time out of your day to be with us on Amelia Earhart Day. Let's see, can we turn the music down a little bit, CD? So I have so many questions. Chat, jump in if you have questions for her as well, but I'll get started here. So did your passion for Amelia Earhart lead you to aviation, or did aviation lead you to Amelia? What was first for you?
I first learned about Amelia Earhart when I was in second grade, and I had to do a report on her. So I was always kind of fascinated by her. I always wanted to fly, but more in the sense I wanted to fly like Peter Pan, which led to many sprained ankles jumping off of my port when the wind felt just right. I got actually kind of bullied into playing Amelia Earhart, and vice versa. I feel like she kind of bullied me into getting to aviation. I accidentally moved to her neighborhood in Los Angeles when I lived there a few years, 5 years ago now, and I was in her old neighborhood, and she was everywhere in the valley, and I was very similar to Amelia in her 20s. I was throwing spaghetti at the wall trying to figure out what I was supposed to do with my life. And one day I woke up and I realized, I was like, I think I had a music career at that point. I had a bunch of really like costuming. Hold on, let me just turn off my costuming background. And I was failing horribly at those. So I woke up one day, I realized, I was like, you know what, I think I want to be a pilot. And I started looking at flight schools, couldn't afford any of them. And then all of a sudden it was like, I moved to San Diego, found a flight school that I could afford, and I just went for it. And it's funny because one of her quotes says the best way to do something is just start doing it. So I did. And it took a while. It was quite the process. And in that journey, I found Amelia again. And I wanted to do something for my TikTok for Women's History Month as her. And I was working at the Air and Space Museum at the time. And one of the docents saw me doodling in my journal. And he's like, what are you doing? Are you working or are you barely working? You know, and I'm like, you know, I want to do this thing. And my manager came over and she's like, hey, are you bugging her? And he told her, he looked at her and she's like, well, he's like, she's Amelia Earhart. Was like, no, I'm not. Please stop. My second week there, I didn't want to step on any toes. I was brand spanking new. And she asked me if I wanted to bring that to the museum. I didn't have a costume yet. I didn't have a wig yet. I was just drawing. And so that free Tuesday that we had, I showed up as Amelia with the contingency that I would have to bring my actual work uniform with me in case someone called out. And that's how it all began. It kind of snowballed. It was such a successful day where guests really loved meeting with Amelia because we had the replica of her Vega 5B there.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
From the movie Amelia. And
that's cool.
So I got to talk to them both as a student pilot at the time, you know, so I had a little bit of aviation background at that point. And my joy for it in a very meaningful way. And they kept inviting me back to do it more. So pretty much every free Tuesday, I got to be Amelia at my job. I get paid to do it.
Wow.
And then it honestly, yeah, so that small being bullied into it changed my life in such a way that it just snowballed from there. And I'm so grateful it did, because I've been able to meet so many amazing people because of it. I've been able to travel to Ireland, and now I'm going to Wales because of it. And then I go to her hometown every year now for the last 3 years to be her and bring her to life and in her hometown, which is crazy. So yeah. Anyway,
Hobie Gal in chat here says Amelia was from Atchison, Kansas, which is about 30 miles from me. So that's where you were just at, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just in Atchison, Kansas last week. I just got back on Monday, Sunday, for the Amelia Earhart Festival. So I flew out on my actual birthday, July 17th. I was throughout the weekend celebrating her birthday, and I was pretty much almost at every event in Atchison. I love Atchison. It does feel like going back home now that I've been there the last 3 years for her birthday party. They were just like awarded like the 4th best city or town to go see fireworks in America, because they really go all out for her birthday. Like, it's a 2-day festival, and it was nuts. But they're very passionate. She's definitely like the collective daughter. I got to meet some of her family members, like her great grand nephew. It's insane. He's amazing. So yeah, I love Atchison. I kind of want to move there someday, I think, because it's such a you can really see how, you know, it being such a kind town, and they're very, like, I don't want to say aviation focused. They do have a small airport there, but they do really kind of have that spirit of Amelia that's kind of imbued in the town, where they really do take the time to encourage small businesses and encourage their youth to aspire for more. And I think she really kind of impacted that in a way.
So when you're Amelia, are you mostly like giving talks as her, like describing the history of her, or are you like doing little meet and greets? I'm curious what the experience is like when you're actually in her shoes. Is it all about sharing her life story?
Yeah, it's a little bit. Sorry, my cat's here.
We got cats. It's okay.
Yeah.
And he knocked over my He's a menace to society. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah. So his name's Houdini. He is aptly named.
Hi, Houdini.
Sorry, what was the question? I got this. So when I'm Amelia,
Yeah.
what do I do? So it's a little bit of both. So I will give talks. Hold on, I'm gonna move him. I will give talks as her, mostly like inspirational talks. Because I am a pilot and I do really enjoy flying. So I basically talk about not only just her early life, but the trials that she went through as a woman in aviation, and especially during the 20s and 30s, but also taking my joy of aviation and encouraging people like she did during her talks that it is possible to do basically anything you set your mind to. Like the only person who's standing in your way is yourself. So that's a lot of what I do. And then during meet and greets, a lot of it is like photos and talking to kids, even adults, and inspiring them to pursue their dreams. Like that's a large part of my mission. It's making it in a way where it's not about me. It's about really carrying on that torch that she lit and that legacy of inspiring others to go after their dreams in a fun and like accessible sort of way. So that's my goal. That's what I've been trying to do for the last couple of years. And I actually got to talk to her great grandnephew, Bram, about it. And he's like all on board for it, which is really kind of cool to have his blessing. So yeah, that's what I do. Long story, extra long.
That's awesome. So Allison here is a big history buff. So curious if you have any questions for our Amelia.
Yeah, I mean, I've got loads, obviously, because I've flown around the world in the Electra with a fellow simmer on sim. And we did all the celestial navigation and everything else. Oh, if someone said, Alison, will you fly the Amelia route in the real life? I'd be gone. I'd be halfway there before they finished speaking. But of all of her sort of adventures and everything, and records that she did, what do you think was her most outstanding achievement?
Oh my, that's, I think her round the world flight was very monumental. I think she really pushed herself so hard in that. We have this phrase called get their itis in aviation, and I think that really played into her disappearance, unfortunately. But I think her greatest accomplishment, I honestly think it was and I know people will say the transatlantic flight, which I strongly agree with, in 1932. But I think her greatest accomplishment was just starting her journey into aviation. Personally, her first flight that she ever took with Netta Snook in Los Angeles. That was the first step. And her even saying, like, I want to do this. That to me, I think is her greatest accomplishment, because she wasn't like showboaty about it either. When she first did her solo, she's like, even talks about it in her book. She's like, I went up, it wasn't great. I did a few laps. Everyone else was doing like these cool maneuvers. I just wanted to be up there. And that to me, I understand that feeling, because I always tell people the moment that I soloed was the best moment of my life. It was better than my wedding day. I'm divorced. So I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
I was less afraid to fly an airplane by myself than I was to walk down the aisle, if I'm being quite frank with you. But I think her actually going and doing that really set her on a path that not many women, even today, are willing to take. So I think that was probably her greatest accomplishment, was actually completing her private certificate, or her pilot certificate back then. And, that to me really set her on the path, and it is what eventually got her to be the first woman to be the first transatlantic passenger in 1920. So I think that moment.
Yeah, I think that's probably, I mean, I what always stands in my mind is that she bought a second-hand old leather flight jacket and cut her hair so she didn't stand out.
So got a question. In fact, I've got two questions if we get a chance. The first one's come from one of our viewers, asking for you, Marian, if you could meet Amelia in person, if you met her randomly, just there was a chance that the cosmic worlds aligned and you actually met her, what would be the first thing you actually said to her?
I'd ask her if she want to go flying with me.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that. Yeah, I like that answer.
That's good.
I think I would ask her, genuinely, I think I would ask her. That's a great question. That's not one I've often thought about, because oftentimes I feel like she almost possesses me when I turn into her. It's funny, my friend was mentioning, she's like, your face changes when you turn into her. And I'm like, wow, she's like, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, I think the first question I would ask her is, hey, do you want to go take a quick flight? And then I think during that flight, I'd ask her, I don't think I would ask her what happened to her. Like, people always ask me that when I'm her. They're like, what happened to you? I think I would ask her, what gave you the courage to do that? Like, how did you not stand in your own way? Because there was a lot of people standing in her way. And I know for myself, a lot of the time I deal with imposter syndrome, especially stepping into the shoes of a great American icon, and especially being a pilot. And I'm an okay pilot. I'm a very safe pilot. There's always room to grow and learn and develop your skills. I don't get to fly as much as I'd like to because of money. But I would ask her, I think I would ask her, how do you basically fight the haters? How do you stand up to yourself? How do you keep going when it's hard, when everyone has that pressure on you to be somebody, to be great? I would ask for her advice, and hopefully we wouldn't ground loop while we're landing. So
yes. So a second follow-up question, which is from me, and this one is more to you as a person than to Amelia. But when you were that little girl in second grade and you were learning about Amelia for that piece of work, what did someone like Amelia mean to you growing up? Like, what did she mean to have an icon like that out there saying you can do anything you want? Just what was that message like? And what do you think that means to the little girls that meet you as Amelia? Do you think they get the same kind of feeling of, my God, I can actually be anything?
I would hope so. That's the goal. Honestly, I grew up on a heavy diet of Star Wars and Disney, and a lot of those princesses, when I was growing up in the 90s, were very much like, I'm gonna get this done sort of thing. And I grew up with Pocahontas and Jasmine and even the Little Mermaid. So they weren't very demure princesses. And then learning about Amelia Earhart, seeing this woman who wasn't very demure herself, I think, and then of course growing up on Star Wars, and then you have Princess Leia, who was also not very demure. I think for me that shaped me in a way to, much to my parents' headache, I'm sure, not take no for an answer. It definitely shaped me in a way when I was in second grade. One, I think it made me both very kind and very bold and not afraid to stand up to my bullies. It got me in a lot of trouble, actually, a lot of the time, because I got bullied a lot. And it definitely set me on this path of feeling like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And I think I've always held that dear. And so when I do talk to little girls, both as myself and as Amelia, I hope that it is sticking in the memory as I can do this and nothing is going to stand in my way. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but I think having all of those role models growing up, fictional and real, made me feel like nothing was impossible. And I have really, I am unfortunately the kind of person, once I put my mind to something, I'm not quitting until I achieve that goal. And usually sometimes that's for the worst. But I am unfortunately very strong-willed and very hard-headed when it comes to things, and oftentimes that keeps me up at night. But I do hope that means that down the road that means that I'm encouraging people to, once they do see me accomplish these goals, that they do see that it's not impossible.
Now, speaking of Amelia and her, not demureness, we have a great question from chat from Willow. They say, what was Amelia like in everyday life away from flying? I guess maybe what her personality was like in general and what she did in her normal day-to-day.
Sure. So what I've learned about her, because people ask me, having to be her over the last 3 years, you kind of learn a lot about a person's personality. She was very shy, surprisingly enough. Like in the eye, she was very kind of like not reserved, but I think she was very bashful. Like if you see her like interviews, like there's moments of like pure joy, obviously, but then you have basically the take of her friends that were also pilots that she flew with regularly, and they're like, oh, she wasn't shy at all. So I think it really is very much like who you're around, like which audience you're in front of. I'm the same way, where if I'm in front of people I really know, I'm very like, I wouldn't say shy, but I would say like you kind of gauge the room that you're in. And I think she was very I don't want to say like manipulative, but I want to say she was calculated, because she was in the image, like public eye a lot of the time. And to my knowledge, she preferred staying home, reading books. She was a big fan of like quick naps, like power naps. And as far as I know, she was also very much interested in, just kind of, she was a homebody when she was at home, as far as I know. So, which I think is interesting to me, because you see her portrayed as like this like brash, like I'm a pilot and screw you and get out of my way, boys. And I don't think she was very much that. I think she was very much like aware of her public image, and I think she was very much aware of being responsible for other people pursuing it, and she wanted to have a good image with that too.
They said power naps. Oh, I do love this woman.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good power nap? That is true.
I power nap too. You would be surprised what 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many good questions here. Sorry, go ahead.
So, segue question actually from what you just raised. Do you know what Amelia's favorite book was?
So I know her favorite book when she was growing up was Ben-Hur.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I also learned from her great-grandnephew that she had a copy of Black Beauty growing up.
That was amazing. Yes.
So she had a few different books, but I know Ben-Hur and Black Beauty were amongst them for sure. And I know she read a lot of poetry too. So yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird. That was something he just shared with me over the weekend. We were at an event together that they found copies of that in one of the attics, and I think that's pretty cool. She probably had a very healthy diet of like adventure books, I think.
It's quite a wide spectrum though. You go from the classics and the Roman period with Ben-Hur all the way through to Black Beauty and that wonderful tale. But it's such a diverse kind of a spectrum of adventure, like you say, and I think it speaks to like imagination being such a key thing in so many pilots, but also patience, that we can learn to be. You have to be able to learn to be patient as a pilot, so that's just required. You cannot rush through life. But I think most pilots I actually know all love to read. This seems to be something we all have. This our imagination isn't enough for the ground, so how could it be not be enough to open a book? So
yeah. I think I agree with that. As a pilot myself, like I love to read. Every pilot I know loves a good checklist. I think
that too.
Yeah, I was talking
organized
with a pilot when I was Amelia, and we were talking about checklists, and we're talking about that and how there is a sense of freedom and complete control of like having a sense of exactly knowing what to do as a pilot. Like I'm sure you guys are aware, like you have your flows, you have your checklists. You have a procedure for just about everything. And I think it really speaks to pilots that we do have, most pilots I know, at least the really good ones who have really good ADM. Sorry, I forgot that I turned on my volume to get notifications. I think having that imagination really helps with ADM And so your aeronautical decision making, right? And it really helps with your situational awareness. It almost elevates you to this different level, but like it also like helps calm your mind when you're so like focused on the task at hand. I always tell people, if I'm like in a weird headspace, or if I'm just like feeling like confused about something, I'll go fly for a couple hours, and then I get back down. I'm like, okay, I feel all right now. Like I've been able to clear my head by giving it complete control, like having complete control of a situation. And I think you're right. Having that imagination and that love to read and that patience really sets pilots apart. I think we're definitely a different breed of people.
Very true.
And I know one of you is a pilot too, right?
Allison forward.
Okay, both of you are. Okay, cool,
Yes.
awesome. Hi.
Angel.
Yeah,
They're amazing.
No. Flying's wonderful. It's just pardon?
I said Jane's got to join the. She's got to join.
It does, yes.
It does, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
My measly 10 hours of student pilot training isn't enough. I know.
It's more than so many people. So
It's 10 more than any other have, and it's only what,
True.
another 30 go minimum.
It may cost as
yeah, and
much-
then I feel like it'll take me more hours to get my license, but
it
In
may cost
theory.
as much as a drug habit,
Yeah.
but it's much more healthy. So
you're right.
It'll keep you on the straight and narrow for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
so true.
It's an
So
amazing thing to do.
I know. Well, let's talk about you just got your PPL in the past year, I believe, right? I don't know exactly when, but
Yeah.
can you describe I guess maybe your check ride in the moment you received your PPL, and did anything interesting happen, or was it a smooth flight for you?
Well, check ride was the long. I think I was telling you this the other day. It's like the check ride was the longest day of my life.
Yeah.
I had about 150 some odd hours, 160 hours before I went in a truck ride.
Mhm.
It took me to get my license.
Mm.
So it was difficult. Almost 2 years to get my license. So when I was like ready to go, I was like ready to go. The
Mhm.
woman I went with, I had actually met when I was in Atchison, Kansas. She flew out to LA, drove down for me to do my truck ride. Amazing, like 80-something-year-old woman,
Aw.
tough as nails. Did not mess around. You know, they say like a truck ride, your oral's just like a conversation. So I went into it thinking, oh, it's gonna be a conversation. I've had lovely chats with her already about our cats. She knows me as Amelia Earhart from the festival. Like, this is gonna be easy. Oh
Yeah.
my God. She went line by line of the ACS. And and then she was like throwing stuff at me, and she's like, they already think we're gonna be idiots. Don't prove them right. I was like,
Exactly.
oh my God.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna fail this thing. Fortunately I did not. There was a lot of moments where I felt like I was gonna throw up. And then eventually we went through my flight plan. She wasn't familiar with the area. Finally, it was like a 4-hour almost oral, like 3.5 hour oral. Like she took forever. She was like going through everything, which I don't think is normal. But you know, we had a great time. Well, she must have had a great time. I did not. And then we got in the plane, and you know, we went up, we flew, and right off the bat, she was like, I'm your passenger. Because I'm going through my brief with her, you know, just the passenger brief. And she's like, I'm a passenger. I've never flown before. How do I put on my seatbelt? I was like, oh my God. And so, you know, that threw me. But eventually we went flying. I didn't get to complete my first leg of the cross country because the marine layer started rolling in. So I was starting to lose contact with the ground by the minute we got over the marine layer. And I looked at her and I said, you know, I'm uncomfortable flying this leg. Would it be okay with you if I go ahead and divert now? And she said, yeah. She said, I think that's a very prudent decision. I think that's a great idea. So we diverted, and we did my maneuvers over at the airport. I'd chosen to divert to because she wasn't familiar with the area, which was a benefit to me. I did get disoriented at one point after we did the she had me put on my foggles to basically go IFR for a little bit and get on the radial for Mission Bay. And then she had me pull off my foggles, and then she pulled my engine, and she's like, all right, you have an engine out and a fire. And I was like, holy shit. So I had to, like, go through my flow.
All of it.
Make sure. I was like, okay, well, if I have a fire, I can't restart my engine, but I'm going to make sure everything's secured. I go through my flow, try to restart my engine. And then I was like, well, I have a fire, so I shouldn't restart my engine. So I I secured everything, or simulated securing everything. And then I did my 45-degree spiral. And then she's like, all right, cool, fire's out, you can restart your engine. And I was like, I knew vaguely where we're at and where the Bravo shelf was over there, because we were no longer on flight following at that point. Oh my god. And I was like, I have no idea where I'm at now, because she wouldn't let me use my tracker on my ForeFlight. She said I could ForeFlight as a chart, but not to have my little airplane on it. So I had no idea where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the same yelling at.
Yeah. And so I had really so I was like, okay, I know vaguely where I'm at. I know vaguely where the Bravo shelf is. We couldn't have gone that far from where we were at already. So I'm just going to head east and start heading back towards the airport. And I'm trying to use the GPS. The GPS wasn't loading. And so I'm pulling out my paper chart, trying to figure out where I'm at. And I was able to use, my VORs to kind of pinpoint vaguely where I was at, which was a huge show off to her. I climbed a little bit to get the general area, and located the airport, which was starting to cover in haze at this point. Did my landings, got back to my home airport, and I was like, we land and we taxi up to the spot, and she's like, so how do you think you did? And I was like, I was about ready to puke. Yeah. As a pilot, have a CFI. So how do you think you did? And you're like, awful, apparently. But I looked at her genuinely, and I said, I didn't hear you say that I failed any of my maneuvers, which I know you're supposed to do. If I failed, right? And I was like, so I think I did a really good job. And she's like, yeah, you're a very safe pilot. You did excellent. Can I give you your certificate? And I wanted to I didn't cry, but I was close to crying. And then I had to put away the plane by myself, which was very difficult because I was very tired. And
oh my gosh.
She literally got out of the plane. She's like, cool, thanks. I do have that dinner to get to, because she kept saying the whole time, she's like, I have a dinner to get to. I was like, I don't.
What was she trying to do?
Why?
Try to see if you'd hurry and be unsafe?
Yes,
Why?
yes, absolutely. Get there items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you schedule a dinner on a check ride day? Would you have to drive back up to Los Angeles? It made no sense to me. I thought she was messing with me.
Probably, yes.
She probably was.
Honestly, I think sometimes women can be the strongest taskmasters when it comes to, teaching other women, because there is that sometimes, whilst men can ask for men for help, if we ask them for help, we're half as capable, and it's always so frustrating. But you have to be harsher on girls to make sure that they can show that we can do it. Otherwise it's that, what is it, twice the effort for half the reward.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It feels that way. It definitely feels like I've seen plenty of men mess up. I've seen plenty of men fail, and it's always the women that I fly with or that I work with in the 99s that work harder and are so by the book and are so we have to maintain an image too. We have to maintain our public image. We have to maintain everything, because if we don't, people are going to talk bad about us, and there goes our careers.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
goes our and your reputation in aviation because it is such a small community, is so vital. It's a large reason why I haven't gotten into doing burlesque. It's a large reason, you know, why I, you know, monitor what I say online. You know, it's
Right.
it is very much, you know, it's why I monitor when I go out drinking with friends. You know, don't have too many drinks, don't post crazy things on social media. It is very, very, but I see men all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I know several guys that have
Of course they are.
And it does remind me too of, you know, we're doing the 1929. Oh, did we lose her?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. We put up to drop connection for a second.
Yeah.
We'll try and get it back there, folks.
It reminds me of the 1929 women's air race derby, because the same kind of pressure that they were under too, right? It was the first women's air race, and they felt they needed to be perfect or else they would never get this opportunity again, right?
Yeah.
So when there was Marvel Crossan's death, like they thought maybe this is it, right? They felt like they couldn't make any mistakes at all, or else they wouldn't be able to have women fly and inspire.
Well, it's a very famous quote by Amelia, isn't it? Which is like, you know, if you mess up, it's going to be twice as bad.
Yeah,
it is. So this isn't aviation, but it's an example that maybe some people might appreciate, and hopefully some of the men in the stream listen to. And I don't mean this as any kind of blame. This is just a statement of how things are sometimes. That I did tech crew work when I was at university, so stage work, stage tech stuff, and I did sound engineering. And we had numerous events on, including one where we ended up with, for once, an all-female crew, just the 4 of us. And the soundboard we had was left up from a previous event, and it was a big 32-channel mixer. And this thing was massive, and it was in a flight case bottom that it was basically on. It was on top of 2 flight cases. Massive thing, humongous. And we had to basically take it down to pack the room away at the very end of the event. Now, one of the girls said, should we just call some of the guys down from the other venue, because it was at university campus, so there was the big venue. We were in one of the ones in the Students' Union, and there was one just across the street that was bigger, and there was an event there too. So should we call some of the guys down to give us a hand with this? And the stage manager said something that I will never forget. And she said, we can't ask them for help, because if we ask them for help, this may have never happened again. Like, we may never get an all-female crew again. We may never even get trusted to have an all-female crew again. So we're gonna have to make do. We will find a way to do this safely, but we will do it, and we will not ask them for help, because if we do, then it will undermine everything we've done. Just because we're not as physically capable, it will undermine everything. So we made do. We found a way to do it. It took some conniving and some MacGyvering, and it worked. But men would have asked for help, and they would have got it, and no one would have thought to think about it. And it would have been no big deal if there was a smaller crew or that was on another venue. They'd have called for some extra bodies. It would have been that simple. But if we did it, it would have made a massive difference. So we didn't, because we couldn't. And that's a lesson that stuck with me for life.
Yeah. Welcome back, Marian.
Welcome back. Sorry, let's just take a little tale of something separate but parallel, I think.
Yeah.
How much you caught to that?
I caught a little bit of it. It's a very real you're saying. It's like how men can ask for help, but women are not. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, there's another good question from chat here.
There is.
Back to Amelia. Yeah. Willow said, what do you think Amelia would have achieved throughout her entire flying career if she would have been able to? Did she have any further challenges already planned out?
I'm sorry, say that one more time. I lost track of what.
Yeah, sure.
All right, sorry.
What do you think Amelia would have achieved throughout her entire flying career if she would have been able to? Did she have any further challenges planned?
Sure. That's actually a good question. That's something we talked a lot about when I was in Kansas over the weekend. I think she would have gotten more into eventually. So she does say quite famously that she feels like she had one good final flight, like one last good flight in her. Because she was about to turn 40 at that point. So I personally think she would have followed along with Jackie Cochran and possibly gotten involved in the space program had
Wow.
she
Yeah.
been given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was very much big on STEM and exploring the possibilities. And I think she probably would have, even though she was a pacifist, I think she definitely would have possibly helped Jackie with the wasps and then eventually moved on to like the space program. I think she definitely would have been involved with that.
That would have been so cool to watch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about because you think of like people who were her contemporaries, like Jackie Cochran, and then even with Charles Lindbergh. Charles Lindbergh, you know, he famously lived a very long time with a lot of different families. But he was involved, you know, with like airlines and stuff like that, I believe, from what I've gathered. I'm not his biggest fan. And then Jackie formed the Wasps, and then she eventually, you know, went on to form so many more other aviation programs within the U.S. Armed Forces. And so I think Amelia probably would have, because her and Jackie were such good friends, I think she would have rallied behind Jackie in that a lot of ways. So yeah, that would have been really cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think she would have gone into space programs and test piloting and stuff for sure.
Oh, 100%. I think she was very, you know, she famously called her Lockheed her Electra her flying lab, and I think he would have a lot of she also said a lot of the time that she was really looking forward to seeing what aviation would turn into. That's why she was doing what she was doing. She wanted to basically pave the way for other women and didn't want to stand in their way. She just wanted to carve the path a lot of the time. I know that's very simplifying it. That was like a lot of her goal was, it wasn't so much about her, it was about the general collective and making a path for others. And she very much wanted to see where aviation was going to go. And I think she would have really been a spearhead in that. So I think she'd be really amazed at how far aviation has come.
Gosh, yes.
Common topic when we're flying, because we've recreated quite a few of her routes. The only one I haven't done yet is the one across the Atlantic, because I'm waiting for the Vega. One day there'll be a Vega. But it's always like, well, what do you think she'd think of this cockpit? What do you think she would think of, you know, GPS? Because of course, back in the day, it was pointing finger. You know, your pointing finger, holding your map is where you were going. You know, these guys and girls, you know, the girls flying today. So this route back in 1929, they were flying at 500 feet, following the railroads, roads and rivers because they didn't have anything. And yeah, exactly. I follow roads, rails, and rivers. And one of the pilots, she lost her maps 3 times.
Wow.
So kept getting lost.
Wow. That it's funny to me. It's you definitely have to follow roads and rivers.
Can I quickly share a picture on my screen? You've got it right. So this is the oh no, it's not that picture, it's this picture. Hang on. Where's my lovely picture gone? It's that one. So this is my favorite picture of Amelia. Not her flying a plane.
I have to wait to see it.
Can
you describe it for us?
There, it's on the screen now. It's her sitting in a plane, how to fly a plane, but teaching kids, and it's the little girl next to her. And just look at the look on Amelia's face. It's just joy, pure. The kids in the background, not so sure, but her face is pure joy. Anyway, that's my favorite picture of all the pictures of her. That's my favorite.
One is so good. I think that one's one of my favorites as well too. Seeing her just honestly, and that's, I think, not to compare myself to her, but I think that's one of my greatest joys is seeing people light up about it and seeing like almost the aha moment. Because I help supplemental instruct a sim lab at the local college that I actually got my ground school done at, and seeing that aha moment and joy and the people light up. Yeah, that thank you for sharing that picture, because that makes my heart so warm and fuzzy.
That was actually a question I was going to ask you, Marian, was that, you know, obviously part of your role is inspiring and teaching, and obviously you talk about how much it makes you feel good, but like just can you go into more depth about that? How just does it feel to really be able to kind of bring Amelia to life for people, to show them almost the icon that inspired you? Does it feel special?
Very. It's a little overwhelming at times. There's been people that I've made cry before, which is very interesting because they get very like, because I turned fully into her, which is weird. It's very inspiring. It makes me feel like I'm on the right path because I was telling my friend Amelia Rose Earhart, which I'm sure you guys are familiar. She's one of the women to complete the Amelia route. She's become a very good friend of mine over the last 3 years, which is wild. I was telling her, you know, I feel, and not to sound vain, but I definitely feel like Amelia handpicks the people that are there to basically continue her legacy. So I feel very honored and touched that I get to be a part of that journey, that I have been able to travel the world and meet so many amazing people because of her. And it's definitely one of those things where I'm very humbled a lot of the time because it's like I literally got bullied into doing this, it feels like. So being part of that legacy is a huge honor, and it's very much like I'm very hyper aware of who I'm representing, and I always just want to go into it with grace and love and the knowledge that it's not about me. So I think that's a huge part. It's not about me, it's about continuing that legacy, which I'm grateful for. I'm extraordinarily grateful for, because if it weren't for her, I don't think I'd be doing, not alone portraying her, but I wouldn't, you know, be traveling to Ireland. I wouldn't be traveling to Wales. I wouldn't be going to Kansas. I would never dream of going to Kansas, you know, before her, and meet so many amazing people. I don't even know if I would have gotten into aviation if it were for her. That changed my life in such an amazing way. So it's because of her that I can, and I'm so grateful for that woman.
So in terms of Ireland and Wales, what is he actually doing there, or would you tell us about those?
Sure. I just got back from Derry this May, so I went there for the anniversary of her landing there in 1932. I'll be going again in 2027 for the 95th anniversary of her landing. So I went to go portray her. That was massive. That ended up being a huge deal, because I went as her, thinking I was just going to be doing like meet and greets and talks like I usually do, but I ended up meeting with like city council and with the mayor, speaking about my experience and how aviation is really beneficial, because Ireland doesn't have as many pilots, and they want to start incorporating that. So I've actually been enlisted in a way to help their local technical college get an aviation program started. So that turned into a bigger, you know, monumental moment for me as a pilot, who feels like a nobody half the time, by the way, feeling like I can make a difference, which is really cool. And then Wales is going to be the same thing. I'm going there in 2028 as Amelia for the 100-year anniversary of her landing there on the Friendship, when she was a female passenger.
That's cool.
Also, everybody
cool.
is a nobody till there's somebody.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And it's crazy how much, you know, having a music background, performing, and I even used to portray Disney princesses for a party rental company, which I feel like everything happens for a reason. Every instance in your life leads you to the path that you're supposed to be on, and I'm very grateful to be on this path. So yeah, so that's why I'm going to Wales. I'm so looking forward to it. I love Ireland too. That was my first time going, and I'm so excited to go back. I loved it there. Beautiful.
Amazing country. Oh, I had a good question from one of the viewers. Asia asks, what is the most unexpected thing you've learned about Amelia?
The most unexpected thing I've
Yeah.
learned about over the years, I would say, was her letter to GP when they got married.
Okay.
She wrote him this very famous letter basically saying, like, hey, I'm not going to hold you to any medieval standards. Don't be to them either. And if you're not happy
Yeah.
Wow.
in a year, I'm divorcing you. And I'm like, holy shit, that was cold.
For its
Cold.
time. For
Yeah.
its time,
Yeah.
it was
Wow.
you know,
Crazy.
well, it was honest and transparent.
Yeah, that, and as a woman in the 30s, and she was already in her 30s, so already
Yes.
considerably past her prime back then. She didn't want children. She was a big advocate for birth control. To the point where she even told her sister, she's like, have you ever considered birth control? You have too many kids.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So to me, that was really spoke so much about her character, saying she was a modern woman. She was so much more ahead of her time, and learning about her in that way and saying, like, look, I don't expect anything of you besides just being a partner, and if you're not going to be my partner and you're going to suck, then bye. Like,
Wow.
that really gave me
Iconic.
the courage.
Hell yeah.
So
Like,
basically, you know, I'll go and find someone else.
Yeah.
But it was very thoroughly modern, right? I've got a question for you, Marian, from someone in my chat. Seb from the Coxbird dev team says, do you have any recommendation on books about Amelia? She has a lot, there are tons, but are there any that you would recommend?
I really like her own writings. They can be kind of a long read. They're very much like casual in her writing. Like, it definitely feels like you're talking to a friend. I really like the fun of it.
Yeah.
That was her book. I actually have a copy here with me. This was given to me. This is an like 1932 copy that my friend sent
Oh my
me.
goodness.
Oh,
Grandma.
amazing.
Yeah, I really recommend this one. It really gives a good glimpse of who she is as a person. I like that one a lot. I really like, I think reading her stuff,
That's
like,
typical. That really
from
is.
herself, yeah, is probably. And then I want to share with you guys too. I was just given this the other day when I was in Kansas. This is a real picture of her. I know this isn't related, but kind of, if I'm doing a little bit of show and tell. This is an actual photo of her that my friend gave me. He's an archivist. And this is her in 1935 on a little electric scooter at the Burbank airport.
There you go.
Wow,
Wow.
that's cool.
This was saying
Typical.
here, it says, Amelia Earhart Putnam loses no time getting around the big airport here. She uses a motor scooter, which she has top speed of 15 miles an hour. And this was taken August 11th, 1935, 10:04 a.m. And that's all on the back of this. And my friend gave this to me over the weekend. And he was like, from one Burbank girl to another. And I was like, I make that face. Like, I've seen you make that face. So I want to share that with you guys. But yes, to answer the question, the fun of it is
100%.
probably the best book you can get.
Yeah.
I like all of them.
It's the one I would recommended. For sure.
The letters to GP also that she wrote on her, that was published posthumous after she died. Sorry, words are hard. Humously. I'm American. We have hard times with words. That one is also supposed to be really good, but I have not read that one myself yet.
Now, I have a fun little thing. You only have about 5 minutes left with us. I have a couple rapid fire questions for you, like a this or that type of thing that I'd love to ask you. Chat, feel free to join along as well. All right. Are you ready?
Should I get Amelia for this? Or do you
Sure. You know, are you willing to bring on Amelia? Because we'd be honored.
One second.
Okay. Ooh, this is exciting. Okay. Amelia is going to be joining us live here in
Excited?
2025.
Time travel.
Yes. How's everybody doing in their flights? Like,
Yeah, looks like everyone's doing good. I've
Moving
got
along.
Els is behind a little bit. I've got Sazzle hovering above me.
yeah.
Kenna Pork is back there. Wombi is around. I had this Mrs. TP and can't see who's over there. My brain. I've had the Flying Freya flying along. Thank you
Nice.
so much, Freya, for all the liveries. They're really lovely.
They're really great.
Passing Mansfield right now at the moment, Mansfield Regional.
Yeah. And
I
if
did
there
the
are
Teddy
any female flyers out there who wants to join us,
Yes, do.
here's the Discord link. Now, while this flight is open to everyone, you know, our community on Discord is for us women only.
Yes. Mhm.
So if you'd like to join, there's the link.
Actually, it's funny topics. Slight segue from flying specifically, but Airplane Heaven released their Lancaster last week, which I know people have been quite enjoying. And I did actually mention during the video of that I did that my grandmother had helped build them at their Trafford plant back during the war, and I got loads of stories from her and pictures of her building the Lancasters, and that was such a huge inspiration during the war, of course, but to find out what she'd done. But it was actually with my grandmother that I took my very first ever flight ever. I was 8 years old,
wow.
and it was me, her, and my dad.
Yeah.
And it was just a little tourist sightseeing flight near Anglesey, North Wales. But I remember my gran was the one sitting there telling me all the things about flying, and it absolutely opened my mind to aviation, and I have not been able to leave it since. But the fact that she contributed to the war in that way, it just still fills me with pride. Probably more so than, you know, my grandfathers and what they did for the war, of course. But
Yeah.
just to see that she got out there and she was doing something so monumentally important, it felt like the world to me.
That's amazing.
All right.
Come and
Hello,
join us,
Sophie.
Come and join us. You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi,
So we have
Amelia.
Amelia here. Hi.
All right.
Good to have you join us.
Thank you for having me. My goodness, it is so good to be back here in 2025. And on my birthday, too.
Yeah. On your birthday. Well, happy birthday,
Happy-
of course. Yes.
Birthday.
So,
I am-
anybody got any questions for Amelia? We've got in the
Oh.
chat here.
Uh,
I want to do some quick ones, yes.
curious if you have any words for. Oh, I think I lost some. Was that me that just went down?
No, we've got you still
You
here.
No, you're still flying. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, Amelia, we got a lot of hopeful pilots here, and people who are already pilots or people who just enjoy virtual aviation. For any young girls who might be out there listening, what advice would you like to impart onto them?
What I would like to impart on those young pilots out there that hope to start flying is just to start doing it. Nothing can stand in your way but yourself, and it will be your greatest joy. Once you're up there and you start to see the trees and the clouds and everything below you, you suddenly realize that you're a lot bigger and smaller than you ever thought you were. So my best advice is just to start going for it.
Bravo with the voice. Bravo.
Bravo, yes.
That's incredible.
I love it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, shivers. Ah,
Goosebumps.
absolutely.
Thank you. I
Thank you
really
so much. Yes, thank you so much for joining us today. It's wonderful to have you here and to have all the input you've given us and all the stories. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so here's some rapid fire questions for you,
Yes, yes,
Amelia.
yeah.
We'll see if some of these make sense for you or not. But all right, chat, feel free to join in as well. Okay. Yoke or stick?
I prefer a good stick and rudder personally. Although I will say flying with a yoke has made it a lot more easier to have better control. However, I did grow up learning on a stick. That one to me is a little bit more familiar.
Solo flying or flying with a co-pilot?
Oh, there's always so much great joy in looking over and seeing someone next to you and seeing that they're experiencing it with you. One of my favorite co-pilots was my friend Eleanor Roosevelt, and we got to experience some lovely night flying together, which I highly recommend you try sometime, Jane. But I will say there is nothing like having complete control by yourself when you're in the cockpit, knowing that it's only you and that you have complete control of everything. There's something so much there's quite the freedom in flying by yourself. So I think I prefer flying
and all right, low and slow or fast and high?
Oh my goodness, the faster the better. I want to be able to get to where I'm going. As much as I enjoy it, the faster I go, the sooner I can land and the sooner I can use the facilities.
All right, last one. Last one. Flight suit or bomber jacket?
Oh my goodness, you know me. As much as I love a good flight suit, I do prefer my good leather jacket, which I think you can see here. I do got my nice bomber jacket on, and I do prefer my bomber jacket.
Yes.
Anything else from you, lovely
I
lady?
love that.
We have one from the chat. Inline piston or radial?
Oh, I do believe I prefer radial pistons.
Good call. Alison,
Right
anything?
answer. Right answer. No, I'm just.
Yeah, it is the right
I'm
answer. Yeah, it is the right answer.
Anyone else?
I don't see any more in here from the chat. I'm looking. No, don't have any more in here. But anything from you, Alison or Jane?
Oh, do you know, she never flew a helicopter, did she? The
Or
closest
no, a
she
bit
got.
early for that.
Yeah, but she did fly the Pitcairn
Okay.
gyrocopter. She broke the record, right? You were 14,000
I
feet.
did fly an auto gyro, which unfortunately broke GP's ribs, but I'm going to blame him for that one. I did fly the BeachNet auto gyro, and will I say it was fun to try. I much prefer a fixed wing. I prefer my Vega over the auto gyro personally.
Colonel Fulton is Lockheed or Boeing? Only one answer there, Colonel.
Oh, Lockheed.
Ooh.
I prefer Lockheed. They always have my back with my aviation endeavors, especially with Purdue. I mean, the two of them, you cannot go wrong. And Jane, I do believe
Amelia, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And
Yes.
I do believe I was supposed to bully you into taking some more flight lessons. So here's me bullying you.
Yes.
I really
Amelia, there's no way I can say no to you. So I feel
there
like I
isn't.
have to go back up.
Yeah,
You have
you
to,
do.
yeah.
I'll
Please
contact my
let
CFI.
if you could let my friend Marian know when you schedule your next flight so she can encourage you even more, I would greatly appreciate it, because I do know how difficult it can
Yes.
be. But again, the best way to do it is to just start doing it.
Jane, you've got to go up with Amelia.
Oh, I
Fantastic.
have
That would be amazing.
That would be
If you
fabulous.
want to down to Diego, we'll see if we can get you a flight and we'll go up to. How about that?
All right. Thank you, Amelia.
Yay! She said,
Yeah.
yeah!
Fantastic.
Amelia, Marian, thank you so much for joining
so
us.
much.
Can you let us know where chat can find you or where they can follow you on?
Yeah.
Social
of
media.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Hi everyone. I'm Marian. Surprise. What? That's not Amelia. You guys can find me on Instagram, TikTok, at it's the _pinup_ pilot. I'm there. I post my Amelia stuff. I post all my stuff about aviation on there. And if you have any other questions about aviation or just Amelia, I'm always happy to answer those.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much in the
All right,
chat.
we'll let you
Love
go
having
now.
you here. It's
Yeah.
good to be.
Thank you so much for having me,
Mhm.
guys. You
Amazing.
guys have a fun
Yeah.
flight and blue skies and tailwinds.
Thank you.
Bye.
Blue skies
You
and
too. Thank
tailwinds.
you.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
Marian.
Skies and
You take care.
tailwinds. Bye,
Bye-bye now.
Marian. Wow, we can't top that.
No, we can't.
No,
I mean,
we
that's
can't,
the
no.
highlight of everything was
No,
fast.
100% we can't top that.
Yeah, it felt so. When she went into Amelia, there, it was just like, wow,
Oh.
this feels completely different. It was a whole different person.
Yeah, but it's
That
just
was
how
so
she
cool.
speaks. That's how
Yeah,
Amelia
it is.
speaks.
It
Oh.
was. It was.
She mentioned in our call the other day that once she was Amelia, she was going to bully me to take more lessons. I was like, "Oh, you can't do that. I can't say no."
Oh,
It was
brilliant.
so funny. Man, what a cool job and hobby and
Very
passion
incredible.
she has.
Yeah.
To find a
We got to
passion
get
like
her in
that,
the sim now. Is what we have to do.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we all up to right now? Where are people
Oh,
flying?
God knows. I was taking. Oh, there.
Middle of nowhere.
I'm about. Yes. Couple of turns.
Yeah. Don't know what
I'm
the distance
about-
is from here, but
I've got about 60 nautical, so about 27 minutes.
I have no idea how far away I am.
So I've decided to fire her up a little bit. I was going a bit slow. I just got so enthralled in listening to.
Yeah,
yes.
I was not paying attention to
No,
my flying.
no.
Oh,
I am
man.
I'll just let the plane.
You guys have
do
all
it.
got the modern technology here to help you find where you're going.
It's
This
true.
is true.
No. Okay, Ohio. This is the right lake I'm looking for. I find where I am. Because we're heading into Cleveland, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not Lakeside.
And that
but Cleveland.
puts me. I'm pulling out a paper map here to try and work out where I am in the old school fashion.
Mm.
Oh,
I think I'm south of Columbus somewhere.
Are
Okay.
you
I think so.
really? Oh,
Maybe no, I can't be, can I?
south
That
of
makes no
Cleveland
sense.
somewhere.
Must be south of Cleveland. Yeah, no, Columbus would be too far
We
away.
took off from.
I'm
We took off
confused.
from
Okay,
Cincinnati.
I'm
Cincy?
confused. It's a big
we-
place. I was scared too far out.
We did I did
Yeah.
a touch and go whilst Marian was speaking, and that was at Columbus.
Yeah. Willow, did you miss Marian as Amelia since you went off for some coffee? In any case, I'm sure we'll clip it and share that out.
Frugal.
That's great.
Oh, that was amazing. Thank you for organising that for us, Jane.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, much closer, much closer. Going to this, I am
Okay.
30 miles. Okay, not bad.
Oh, you're Frankie. I'm having to boot it now.
Well, I'm going faster than I thought it was going. I'm just not quite sure how fast it is in
Mhm.
knots, because I speak knots. I don't speak kilometers an hour, and I'm doing kilometers an hour right now. I'm doing about 250 kilometers an hour as it stands.
A lot faster than my
Okay, I'm glad you
115
saw
knots.
that. Yeah. It is hard to say bye to people. I wish we had her for the
It
whole
is.
time.
I know.
Cockspur.
But no, I'm glad she could give us some time during her day. She has a busy day today, and she wasn't able to get more of the time for the stream. But I'm super
Yeah.
glad she was at least able to be here for the hour, and it has been wonderful.
Yes.
That's so many good questions people have asked in the chat. So we've had some good
Yeah.
questions that were separate, but not related along this line
Right.
whilst she was on with us. I'm gonna try and go back and find some of these.
Yeah.
I know we had one a while ago, which I promised to go back to, and
I did
gosh,
see
where
some
is
good
it?
ones too. So maybe if y'all want to re-ask them, they weren't necessarily related to Marian at the time, so I didn't pull them, but they
Yeah.
were good questions.
And here's one here just for us generally. How often do you think Skies and Dolls will stream?
Oh,
I think this is brilliant. This
Yeah,
is
sure.
this is Seb from Cockspur Dev Team.
Thanks.
Who
I haven't thought about
thank
it.
we haven't really thought about it, but
Once in a while, maybe.
once in a while, I should think.
That's not really an answer. Is it?
No, we'll come back to you, Seb. We haven't looked
As-
at that yet.
yeah,
We're just
hopefully semi-regularly, maybe like
Yeah.
every month or so, maybe
every month,
maybe-ish.
once a
Yeah.
month
I
don't
might
know.
be nice. Or
Yeah.
more.
We've
It's just
been
gonna depend
gearing
on
up
how-
for like this stream and launch that
Yeah,
I
this
is a
have
special
not
one.
past it.
This is definitely a special one, obviously being the
Yeah.
launch, and we wanted to basically have a big kick-off for things, which has been wonderful, of course, and it's going great. I'm just glad so many people are here to watch with us as well. It's fantastic. Of course, if you are either on whichever platform you're on, make sure you drop a like and or click a Twitch button. I don't know how those things work, and help support the stream. It does help more people actually see it. It helps more people find the stream via the algorithm. So you're helping more people, more viewers, not just us. And say hi in the chat if you haven't yet. Say hello and let us know where you're tuning in from.
It gets right,
I didn't
guys.
mean
Or
to
next month, mark your
do that.
calendars. every 4 weeks on major, but not just for major events. We, when we were looking at when we should do this, we had quite a few dates, didn't we? But this one's just seemed to resonate with everybody, that it was, Amelia Earhart, the anniversary of her birthday today. And so yeah, not necessarily on special events, but
I do know.
Yeah.
I personally.
Speaking
plan to be
of
streaming a lot
this
more from
being,
now on. Oh,
yeah.
go on. Sorry.
Oh, I'm excited for that. But
Yes,
speaking
I'll be
speaking of
fine.
special events, I did want to do a giveaway for a marketplace item from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that. It'll be, unfortunately, you'll just see it in either Allison or
That's right for you.
MSFS's
Yep. Go tune into
stream.
the
If you
official
did want to,
one.
yeah. I don't know if I did that right. It says 10 to buy 10 tickets. It should. I'm gonna close that out and do it again. Hold on.
So if you've got time, guys, if
what?
you're watching my stream on YouTube, please open up the official Microsoft Community Twitch or Allison's Twitch, and you can participate in the giveaway on there. And whilst Jane fixes that,
There we go.
as I mentioned earlier, yes, I will be starting to stream as a regular thing
There we go.
on Aviation
Yeah.
on my own as well. So you'll be able to see that soon too.
Ooh.
oh,
What are you
excellent.
going to be streaming? Are you going to do a
Lots of
variety
muddy flying.
games?
Yes.
Oh,
No, I'll be
okay.
doing just
You
flight sim
do
for this. Of
Flight
course.
sim. Okay.
I do already have another channel. Quite a lot of my viewers do know I have a second channel, which is my main job, which is gaming stuff. And I stream over there every week on there.
Yeah.
And I will be starting this one specifically for Avangel. So it will be all flying and most of it will be muddy. So bring your
Ooh.
Wellington boots and we'll be having fun.
Brilliant
That's
stuff.
awesome. All right, I got the right giveaway going. So
Yes,
in
there we
our
go.
Twitch chat, do ! ticket space 1 to enter the giveaway. And then we'll draw a winner here towards the end of the stream in about
Fantastic.
19 minutes. Do those. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. What kind of games do you play on your other channel?
It has been a variety of things, but it's mostly boiled down to because the algorithm says it only likes one game at a time. I mostly do Grand Theft Auto stuff, so
Yes.
it's roleplay gaming rather than the
Yes.
online chaos. So yeah,
That's
that's the day
awesome.
job, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Hey, it's been 8 years. It's unfortunate at this point.
Oh man, what RP
Yeah.
server are you in?
I'm part of one called Aspirant Gaming, which is
Okay.
my home, and I helped to found it 8 years ago. So
Cool.
it's been a long journey, but it's why it's so hard to actually to pick days to stream for Avengel, why it's taken me this long to start streaming for Avengel, because anyone who's done kind of RP type stuff before will know that when it becomes your job as content, actually getting enough stuff to record takes almost every day.
Yeah.
So it takes your life.
Yeah.
Between that and this, I'm working every day. I put out, I think, I put 4 videos out and 1 stream a week on that channel, and I put 2 videos out a week for Avangel. So it's 6 videos
Busy
in a stream
woman.
every week.
That
Yes,
sounds like
chaos.
a lot of work.
It's stress, a lot of stress, but it's enjoyable. It certainly beats working in an office and pushing paperwork about tiles and things around, which I'm sure some people may find enlightening, but I'm a creative person. I'm chaotic and creative, and it's just my thing. So I think it's just the way I function best somehow under my own level of stress.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, as
Sky,
I know
come
you
on.
from your
Welcome in.
Oh, hey Sky. As I know you from your plane reviews, I
Yes,
think those are
yeah.
brilliant videos. So there's Avangel's YouTube for those, and Twitch,
Thank you.
who might not know about it, but I think a lot of people who are probably do. So go give her a follow.
Yeah, the reviews have been fun. I've enjoyed doing that. It was something that started out because obviously I already had a YouTube channel, so I knew how to make videos. And when 2020 came out, I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this a crack just to see if I can. But really, no one did anything like that at the time, and it was always a bug for me back in FSX and P3D that to find, as I was a poor student when I was buying add-ons back then, I had no money. So I needed to really research and looking on forums and finding some rubbish Bandicam mouth breathing review on YouTube where someone was just like showing the plane. Like you couldn't just go out there and go, oh, I'll buy this and this and this and this. You had to pick when you don't have a lot of money. So I was like, I will give it a crack to try and give people the information I would have wanted. Quick, punchy. Is it worth it? Is it going to be good value? Are you going to enjoy flying this thing? Yes, no. Make it easy. Give people information so they can make their own mind up. I don't try and persuade people. I'm not an influencer. I just try and make sure they have what they want.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I bought a new plane because of you yesterday.
Did you? Oh, which one?
The Flight FX.
It's fantastic. The Citation X
Isn't
is
it?
wonderful.
Yeah.
Even I will fly
Yes.
that one again.
I also bought the Ryan.
That's a good one. It's really lovely sounds in the little Ryan.
Yeah,
I wasn't
lovely.
expecting that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do excuse my landing in the Citation, though. I had to put that thing down, and there wasn't a lot of room.
There wasn't a lot of room on takeoff.
There was not, no. Also, if we switch across to my perspective, I am actually landing now at Cleveland.
Crikey,
Ooh.
I'm
Let's take a
about
look at that.
18 minutes out. Crikey.
Mhm.
Firewalling it now.
I'm going to have to expedite our descent here, so
Mhm.
going to apply a little bit of glider flying
Tactical
technique.
landing.
Yeah. Well, no, not quite tactical, but I'm slipping it down to burn off some altitude and airspeed.
Nice.
Don't mind the trees. They're going to be no problem in a second. This should burn off the last of my speed when I come down here and then go up to the up. And back down. Perfect. Little unconventional, but I also realized I was flying over the airport the last second and thought, well, I'm not bothering going around this place. It's humongous.
Mhm.
This is Cleveland International, by the way, in case anyone's curious. That's not my throttle. This is the wrong throttle. I was pushing up the second, wondering what was happening. So I have people actually asked, by the way, the chat will answer this one as soon as I just touch down here, but I run the honeycomb flight controls, the Alpha and Bravo, so I have 2 throttles and 2 props, 2 mixtures at all times. I don't reconfigure it because that takes effort. Okay, it's as gentle as possible for the stream.
18,000 people watched the ladies finish the race in Cleveland.
Wow.
In
There are a lot less watching us finish the
Wow.
race.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. Yeah, a lot less.
It's, you know what? It's the
18,000
thought that
people.
counts.
It is.
And... Oh, little gentle touchdown there. I'll put the tail down. She doesn't want to stop flying this plane.
And famously, Louise Thaden, as she won the race, her quote was, "I'm awfully glad to be here. I wish everyone could have won," which just shows the camaraderie all the racers, 20 racers had with each
That is,
other as they helped each other along this race from California.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. They didn't really see it as racing each other, did
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was
It's
just
It's like
yeah.
I've done a little bit of mountain bike racing, enduro stuff specifically, and like even though it's not particularly like high level competition or anything, it's like amateur stuff. But all the women there, everyone supports each other, and even though we are competing, there's more of the camaraderie than there is like the competition. So it's actually really lovely because everyone actually tries to help each other out.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, actually on that question, what are the flight controls is everyone using? What are you two using for your stuff? We know you're on a was it a controller, Jane?
Yeah, there it is. My Xbox.
Do you have
controller.
anything else, or is it
I
just a controller?
do. I do have Thrustmaster, pedals, honeycomb yoke, and throttle. Is my normal big setup if I'm, big girl flying. But today we're just on the controller.
Okay, fair enough. It works.
Yeah.
I'm using flightsim.com force feedback yoke.
Ooh, snazzy.
Ooh.
My rudder pedals are on a boat due in Hamburg at the end of the month. But,
there you go.
Okay.
they are amazing, and because I fly helicopters as well. That's because you can literally put them in helicopter mode, and their torque pedals push them, and they stay where they go.
nice.
Oh, amazing! I've also got a Moza AB9er base and 2 sticks, and then I've also got
Wow.
a whole. There's a shelf full of stuff.
Wow.
So it depends what I'm doing. I've got collectives. So it depends what I'm flying, and I just change it all around.
Very nice.
I did just find a great quote from this Fly Girls book when we were talking about the camaraderie, just exactly how far they went. It says, in the air, when passing each other, they wagged their wings in greeting, even though doing so made them lose valuable seconds. Earhart was flying in a cabin, not an open cockpit, so she carried some of the women's luggage, even though the extra weight could clip her speed.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, at one point she circled low, and wasted 5 minutes to give people who had once helped her there a proper salute from the sky. So you can just say,
That's
they
nice.
really didn't care about winning, and just from their actions, right?
And even when some of the pilots landed with problems, other pilots would land and go and help them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
No one left behind.
no one left behind. Yeah. Unless they clattered their plane's leg.
Well, yeah, that's one of those things.
Pancho Barnes hits a car on a runway.
Impressive. Okay.
Well, the very first day when they all came to the airfield, the organisers hadn't controlled people, so the airfield was full of cars, and they had to land in an unprepared dirt field next to the airfield.
Impressive.
Yeah.
People were race coming in and had the runway prepared.
Yeah, no runway, just land in a dirty old field.
So after the air race, after they landed in Cleveland, it says they met under a clump of trees in the airfield to talk everything over. And they wanted to discuss the future, and they all agreed it was time to organize. So chat, what do you think happened at that point when they thought it was time to organize? What came out of that? There's a quick question for you, then we can talk about it.
Keep quiet.
You know, Allison knows.
I do.
Allison knows.
Allison knows.
We did talk about it a little bit.
We did, yeah.
There's your hint. We'll call it an organization. I know Angel knows too.
I have no. What was the question?
An organization came out of this in the end.
Oh yes,
decided to organize. Yeah.
In fact, it was mentioned during the stream, if I recall.
Yeah, a couple
of
times.
Yes. Marian Blake is a part of this organization that has continued on.
Organized by chapters.
We're getting so many hints here.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, guys. I'm disappointed in my people on my channel that don't know this.
See, can I answer?
Hey, Ian. Lovely to see you. There we go, Wombi.
Thanks, Wombi.
Yeah,
it's the 99s.
Yes.
Yeah, the 99s.
Woohoo.
Fantastic. Ooh, got a jet going over here.
But yes, why was it called the 99s is because I believe it had 99 women pilots at the very beginning of it.
Yes.
And they wanted to get together to advance aviation, education, scholarship, stuff like that for women, of course. And that tradition has continued on, and any female pilot is able to join into the 99s. I think that's awesome. To be a part of something that those legendary female aviators, started.
My chat had broken and I was not looking at the latest version of the chat. So I do apologize, folks, if you said anything to me. I didn't see it. Yes, no, my YouTube just everywhere. It just lets lock up. See, I use Firefox, which is wonderful, but if you think of the browsers like kids in high school, you have Edge, which is sitting in the corner eating glue. You have Chrome, who's the popular cool kid, but it's about surface deep. Then you have Firefox, which is the arty kid who may have a breakdown at any moment, but it's generally okay. Unfortunately, occasionally does have a massive breakdown, and Firefox will eat itself. But I can see now, so I promise you I will answer your questions if you said anything.
And reminder for those in our Twitch chat, !ticket_1 for our current giveaway for a marketplace item for 2020 or 2024.
Oh God, Allison's in the chat. Hello. Different Allison.
Oh.
No, it's a different Allison.
It's like, what?
Ah. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere.
Does anyone know Alice, Angels of the channel? I was nearly said the wrong channel name for a second there on the moment. That would be Firekin. So, yes, if anyone's looking for my other one.
Yes.
But yes, so we're on board looking there. I think that's Jane we're watching now.
Oh,
coming up towards the lake, so.
I'm just flying around. I didn't know where I was not paying attention. Well, here we are. I won't be landing like this.
Well, every flight ends in a landing. Not all of them are fantastic, but they all end.
That's what it is.
It's already dropping shames, CD.
Let's turn autopilot off, shall we? Wow.
Oh my God! I've never
been to Cleveland.
Cleveland is apparently reasonably nice from what I've heard.
Huh.
Now, I've just had the monumental discovery that Wikipedia has a dark mode, and I am absolutely shook. This is fantastic.
Oh, really? I didn't even
Yes.
know that. Wow.
Yeah, it's in the sidebar of it now. You can actually go into the sidebar for appearance and can change the options, and you can actually set various things for your Wikipedia, which is really useful.
Look at that.
I was going to actually talk to you a little bit about Ellie Beinhorn, the pilot whose aeroplane that I am flying today, her
please.
108. And if you are curious, it's the Builds ME 108 Typhoon. It's meant to be for only flights in 2020. However, I'm using it in 2024 with no modifications, and it's completely fine. So bear that in mind. It's also on sale right now if you go to AnyBuild's website. I'm not connected to them in any way, shape, or form. I promise. I have nothing to do with them, but it is on sale, as are a couple of other aircraft, including the Nardi Riviera, which is a gorgeous little amphibian. Totally recommend. But she was born in 1907 in Hanover, Germany. And she went to a lecture in 1928 from the famed aviator Herman Kohl. And he just completed his East-West Atlantic crossing. And this was her spark that kind of inspired her to start flying. And she took funds from a small inheritance, as much as her parents wanted to. And she moved to Spandau in Berlin. And she took flying lessons, which was at the Berlin Staaken Airport. But she learned to fly there. She soloed in the Clem KL-20, which is available for flights. So you can find that one now. And I think that's Classic Wings that made that one, right, Alison?
Yes, correct.
Yes, Classic Wings made the Clem KL-20. And so with her money running out, she basically started giving aerobatic displays as a way to make money on the weekends. And yeah, she started making money doing that and started doing long distance flights, including some various ones to Portuguese Guinea, now Guinea-Bissau, West Africa. She did scientific expeditions there. She flew across the Sahara, where she crash landed, which is quite insane. But she flew home to Berlin from Africa as well. Tons of incredible things. She flew with Amy Johnson in Australia as well, who's another famous aviatrix. Before, yes, we did mention that she ended up marrying Bernd Rosemeyer, who's a Formula One driver. Which is, so crazy wild life of flying all across the world, across Africa, across Europe. Incredible flying. And yes, her most famous aircraft was her little 108 Typhoon, which is where the aircraft got the nickname, actually. It was hers that first bore the name Typhoon, and it's where the overall aircraft got that moniker. Yes. Ellie Beinhorn.
Subject of my next series when I
wonderful, yes.
finish my Jennifer
Tell
Murray
us about
series.
that. Yeah, tell us about that.
Tell us about this.
Yeah, so I'm going to it's her flight around the world, in inverted commas, where she took the Clem from Berlin around the world, basically in 3 stages, because the boat got transported across the major oceans because the Clem doesn't have the capacity to take all the fuel. But she flew all around the world and crossed over by steamers from the Far East, and then to around and came back. She became the first woman to fly across southern Americas, there's Southern America, by going over the Andes in her Clem, which was I can increase the Clem fuel load for you. You could, Eric, but she didn't have extra fuel, so it's got to be done the right way. Yeah, she became so she was the first German female pilot to fly around the world, although technically she took some trips on a boat to do it.
A little bit, yeah. She also only died in 2007.
Yes,
age 100.
Yeah.
100 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, one of her last photos was her with her Clem and Typhoon.
Yeah. She stopped flying in 1979, age 72, due to ill health. So she wasn't able to continue flying, unfortunately. But a couple of kids. In fact, one of her children, her son, Dr. Bernd Mosweier, same name as his father, lives in Bavaria now as I think it's an orthopedist. So there you go. Guess you're a particularly famous doctor. Monty, thank you very much for the super chats there. In fact, everybody else who's super chatted in my stream, thank you so much. You're all wonderful people.
I'd like to say thank you to
No, Monty duties, yes. Monty can have a night off.
Yeah. Cox, the dev team for the big 10 sub bomb. Thank you very much. That was really lovely.
Ooh, very nice. And yes, no, my mod Monty from my main channel gets to have the night off tonight as soon as I have to do any work.
Nice.
Jane, CD says, Jane, this airport is where you first learned to fly in the sim way back in 2020.
Wow. There you go.
Amazing.
During your lessons with Westland Radio.
Yes.
Ah.
All right. I have landed, so I can do this giveaway.
Yes, the giveaway from the chat earlier. So let's see who wins this.
All right.
Make sure
I'm
you're
going to go ahead
chat
and
to Alison for that.
yeah, close this out.
Yeah, my stream's probably messing up, so probably not a good idea. But
Let's go ahead and draw a winner. So the winner of a marketplace item from 2020 or 2024
good luck,
is
everyone.
Oh.
Celestial Navigator.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
If you could just give me your gamer tag, and well, I'll message you here on Twitch. So I'll do a whisper in a little bit.
Thank you so much.
What? So
Where's my
Celestial
pen?
Navigator
There it
is, if you don't know, is the developer of the amazing Celestial Navigation app that Captain and Rash and I used on the Amelia Earhart round the world flight to do it with only Celestial Navigation.
Wonderful.
That's amazing.
Very wonderful, yes.
Totally not rigged, guys.
Totally not rigged, of course. And yes, Alan, you didn't meant to cause anything to go wrong this time, so thank you. One of my long-time viewers who loves to jinx everything I do. And she got here late enough that it already landed, so we're safe. We're fine.
The best. Those are the best viewers.
Fall off this time. They are the best viewers, yeah. Most famously, recently, she managed to say, "Don't fall off that fire escape." As I fell off a fire escape.
Fire escape. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a long way down. Hashtag Blamella is back, yes. Oh, someone brought her the Boeing. Oh, it's 777, wow. I think that's some random person who's just doing serious flights here because it's a UAL like 1753, so some serious flight simmers in here trying to actually fly, and here's us taking up every taxiway.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Oh. Sorry, nearly there. Sorry. Couple minutes.
All good.
I meandered.
And for those who have only just joined us, who are curious, by the way, if you're not familiar with what we are, Skies and Dolls was a group formed by myself, Alison, and Jane. And its primary goal was to basically provide a space for women in the flight sim community. It's not meant to be isolationist. We're meant to just provide somewhere that's just a boosting point for women to break out into the worldwide community. But it can be pretty intimidating sometimes. And we wanted somewhere that was like a little safe haven that could feel special, could feel inclusive, and we could help to lift everybody up together and provide, we've got coaching, we do group flights, and we just have somewhere we could chat too, which is really wonderful. And we wanted to provide something to really kind of encourage, because girls in gaming are a huge market that's growing more and more. And with flight sim being so open and approachable, especially now with it being on Game Pass and things like that, it is a wonderful opportunity for more people to get involved. And one of the best parts about flight sim is the community. So we wanted to create an entry path of sorts that's open to people to be able to find their footing. So we have created, in fact, this. And I think Jane's got a link, or someone has a link somewhere for the Discord. It is unfortunately only open to women at the moment. That may change in the future. We don't know. But for the time being, it is exclusively for female flight simmers to join. So if you want to join, you can. Of course, the wonderful Alison Johnson. Make sure you go check out her Twitch channel. If you're watching on her Twitch channel, check out me, Aviation. Hi. And this is Jane. She is the wonderful community manager at Microsoft for Flight Sim. One of them. Is it, how many of you are there? There's a couple of you, aren't there?
There's me, there's CDL, who you see on Fridays, and we have Chewy94,
yes,
who
wonderful
you probably know as well. Yeah.
Yes. They're very hard working, dealing with all the requests for double jetways and various other interests when it comes to
Vega
Flight Sim.
5s.
Of course.
I'm being yelled at right now by CD for mentioning double jetways again. Weird how that keeps coming up in my parlance. But yes. Yes, no, the community can be wonderful, but it's definitely the best part of Flight Sim, so I definitely recommend it. And Monty, thank you so much. Yes. We got you on the way in. We can watch it's Alison's landing here. No pressure. I will be judging your style points.
Okay. Especially as I'm a Cessna pilot, right?
Yeah, it should be fine. It's only a Cessna.
Yeah, no.
I'm glad I landed so gracefully for being on stream where I feel way nervous.
I did
Not the right airport, but
I did a lovely landing earlier in the Aerostar.
It was in Cleveland, so it matters.
It was a beautiful kiss. It was a lovely kiss of tires. No horrible bumping bounce like I'm probably going to do now.
I'd just make a video on how to join group flights. You know, I actually could do some kind of tips and tricks and setting videos. So that's good idea. I'll make something like that.
Thank you, Willow.
Right now, I've got to remember to try to land on top of the bus.
There you go. There we are, nearly down. Don't crash, especially off the side of the runway. That'd be bad.
There we go. That's all right.
Yes.
Wonderful. I hope those in the Skies and Dolls Discord, I know they're in a voice chat together. Hope y'all had fun. We wish we could have been in that chat.
Yes.
Hopefully y'all were able to hang out with each other. Have a good time.
Awesome.
That was amazing. Thank you ever so much, everybody.
Thank you everyone for coming, who joined us to fly, and or whoever just tuned in to any of the various streams. So thank you so much for coming, and I guess this is us officially launched now. Also, thank you.
That's true. We're officially a group.
Yes.
Even though for those who aren't able to join our female only group, there is our Instagram and Blue Sky account, Skies and Dolls. You can follow along to see what we're up to, and that question of how often will we stream together, we'll figure that out. Let you know. But thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Go follow Allison Johnson. Go follow Avangel, and we'll see you next time.
We will.
Yeah, thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.
Bye.